Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our YouTube. I'm Tiffany Bryant-Jackson, the education manager here at Three Bone. And today we have three brilliant, might I say, actresses who have found their way in part one and part two of this wonderful trilogy. And while they're currently in Electricidad, by the way, happy opening weekend. You guys rock that out. I
Thank
wanted to
you.
talk to the three of them to talk about how they came into this project because all three were in the first one, Mojada, and now they're back. And I wanted just to get some insight on how they're feeling coming in and taking on very different roles for round two. I'm going to give everyone a moment to introduce themselves. So I'll start with you, Banu.
I'm Banu Valladares. Hi.
Hi. Tell us who you're playing in this show and who you played in Mojada.
Yes, in this show I play Abuela and I played Tita in Mojada, two completely opposite characters.
Very much matriarchs, but in very different ways.
Yes, yeah.
Understandable. All right, Mariana, tell us about you.
Hi, my name is Marianna Corrales, and in this play, I have the role of La Carmen, one of the vecinitas. And in Mojada, I used to play the role of Armida. That it was, again, very different. Both characters have different personalities. So, yeah, it has been such an adventure to be able to be part of this trilogy.
Fantastic. And Isabel.
Hi, everybody. My name is Isabel Gonzalez, and in Electricidad, I play Clemencia. And in Mojada, I played Josefina slash Josie, who I believe are very, very much different roles as well. So that's just a fun jump for me.
Yes, I love seeing it from all three of you. I think the first time I saw you in your costume the other day, Bono, I was like, wait a minute, Bono out here strutting, looking like hot stuff. Very different roles. But I love seeing it. So I would love to hear from each of you how you found out that Three Bone was doing the trilogy and then talking yourself into coming to auditions and how you found yourself coming back for part two. And whoever wants to go first can take it.
I'll start. I have known Three Bone Theater for years now. I used to be a funder years ago with the North Carolina Arts Council and have loved the work that Three Bone does. The idea of bringing typically underheard voices, shows by people of color, different people that casts people from the culture and
Mhm.
directors and all of that. It's just an amazing company. So when I heard about Electricidad, Mojada, I was in with 2 feet. I thought that I wanted to do the role that Mariana did, but when I read the sides, I actually wanted Tita, the grandmother sort of nurse uh, chorus person, and really loved that auditioning process. And of course, having done that and having worked with an all Latino cast, all Latino directors was such a treat that I had to come back for for the second one. And I wish I could do the third one, but I don't think that there's a role for somebody my age category. So
That one's heavy on the male roles in that next
correct.
show.
And
Yeah.
it's just a delight to be able to work with people from your culture in a play that is written by somebody from your culture, themes that are about your culture. It's like being seen and heard completely. It's a beautiful process. Yeah.
Love it. Isabel or Mariana?
I'll go next. I don't mind at all. So my first encounter with Three Bone Theater was actually during Sanctuary City. I played the role of G, so that was my first experience with Three Bone Theater. And my old college professor, Carlos Alexis Cruz, who was actually one of our co-directors for Mojada, I remember we had talked about they were going to put on the show at Three Bone Theater. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go audition. I don't know what's going to happen, but let me just go and see and try. And I think I didn't know much about the show, if I'm being completely honest. So I went there like kind of just with a blank slate. Of course, everyone's like, "Ooh, I want to be Medea," or like something of that nature. But then I heard Josie in the audition room, and I like to say I'm very much like Josie. I love to have fun. I love to just kind of be a little chismosa, if I'm being honest. But that's very much like where the character, where I feel most comfortable because I usually play more comedic roles. And so I think that's something so interesting about Electricidad, which, fun fact, I wasn't even really planning on auditioning because I did have another kind of commitment lined up, but sometimes things fall through, you know, theater happens. But then I was blessed enough to be able to audition for the show and be cast as Clemencia, which I think is so fun to play because kind of just like what I was mentioning, I usually play more comedic roles. And if anyone has seen this show or if it's familiar with Electricidad, Clemencia is not necessarily the most comedic role out there. She's very dramatic, and so it's a lot of fun getting to kind of go into that and trying to just be kind of truly authentic to trying to bring out all the best and worst parts of her.
Thank you, Mariana.
Well, I didn't know Tribune Theater was a thing. I didn't know it exists. I feel like I live in another kind of world because I live in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and but I always love theater. Like I've been always been very active in the Latin theater community, and one of my best friend last year she was like, there's gonna be a theater class on Latin American collision, let's go, let's have fun, let's meet people. And I was like, yes, let's go. So that was kind of the first audition. I didn't know nothing about the play, I didn't know nothing about the trilogy, I did not nothing about Tribune Theater. And then they call and say, you have the role of Armida. And I was like, I have no idea who she is, but let's do it. And it was so much fun for me because Armida had this personality and this character that I feel like I don't have necessarily as a person. So I always say that Billion, they have a superpower just as the superheroes. They just don't know how to use it to help people and to help themselves. So for me, Armida gave me a superpower, and I tried to portray her as much as I could, and I think she was just a beautiful character that didn't know how to use that superpower. And obviously, I had to come back to the auditions for Electricidad, that I did not know nothing about the play neither. I was auditioning for Clemencia role. And then when I was reading it, I was like, oh, shoot, she has to be like, it's a lot. She is a lot. And then they gave me the Vecinas script. And I was like, dang it, it felt so natural. Like, I just say I. And it was like, yes, I was like, probably they're going to call me back for the Vecina, right? Because that was, meant to be. So it has been just a pleasure to be able to watch these different messages, this different cast, and I'm just so grateful and blessed to be part of this community.
Thank you. You each mentioned something that I think is key to harp on a little bit, is representation. But because the trilogy is being done, we are seeing representation in different ways. Each of you is playing the complete opposite of who you were before. Some get to be funner, some have to be more dramatic, but it's all a scale of representation, right? So we don't get locked into seeing, oh, this one show with Latinx culture, and this is the only way they can be, right? So I think what's beautiful about the trilogy is showing each one has a different eye. And by you three taking on roles so far in the two, is also showing people like, hey, look at these three actresses who were in the first one. They're back in a way that I didn't envision them before. And that does two things. One, shows your range because it's incredible. But three, shows that stories vary. And each one needs a moment, whether you think someone is a villain or not. Each story needs a moment to be heard. So I think that's something beautiful in this trilogy. I also want to know, Banu and Mariana, you've also come back for other shows not in the trilogy with us here at Three Bone, which I love to see. I love to see you both. I'm like, oh, look at them. They're here now. You started with us and you can't go anywhere. It's really what that ends up being. So I want to talk to you each a little bit about why you think this is a show that everyone needs to see. I'm going to start in reverse order. So I'm going to start with you, Mariana, since you started first last time.
Oh no,
Or
give me more
last.
time to think. I'm kidding. I think I'm ready. I think these shows help us to understand that it doesn't matter where we come from. We can keep the good parts from where we are and from where we are, from where, yes, we can, whatever our family did, we can keep the good parts. We don't have to repeat the cycle. This play show you that you have the power, and we are made of decisions. And the decision is, should I just keep going the way I know how I can keep going, or can I take a decision from the things I'm learning, you know? And sometimes we can get very blind because we are feeling all the emotions, but we have the power and the choice to decide different. So I'm not gonna tell you more. You all need to come and watch the show,
Exactly.
okay? But I think all of us have been in that place where we ask ourselves that question. Should I just keep moving forward the way I know how to move forward, the way my parents teach me, or I want to break a cycle here?
Thank you. I think that is beautiful. We're all made up of our decisions, and they're all individually ours, whether they feel that way or not. It's really each body is a system of decisions. I'm going to write that down. Thank you. Isabel, I see you ready to talk.
I was ready. I was ready. I think a big reason, or just a big thing that most audience will hopefully take away, or just why they should come see it, is everything is truly not what it seems. You only get to see a portion of a person's story or hear a portion of a person's story um, told through certain people's lenses and narratives, but you don't really know the full story until you're there, until you witness it, until you're in it yourself. So I think audiences coming to see this show, they will also see themselves in it, because maybe they've told a story or have been a part of someone's story in a lens that they didn't even know was capable of being shown. And so I really think that having this story told is not just a Latinx experience. I think it's everybody's experience at one point or another. And so I think that's the most important thing because, yes, it deals with family, it deals with friends, it deals with community. So I think everyone will find their sense of identity in this show within a character or another. And I think that is the main reason why everyone should come see the show because we're just like everybody else. And our
Thank you.
stories deserve to be told too.
Exactly. As the young folks say, period.
Period.
You're one of the young folks.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Says a
But
lot.
yeah,
I think this play reminds me a lot of Mojada, and in the sense that in what Mariana said, I mean, all of those things, right, that both Mariana and Isabel have said, but it reminds me of the importance of how do you adapt to change? Change is coming. Change is coming. And do we resist change or do we adapt? And when you flex, you tend to do better than when you resist. Now, this is not the, I'm speaking maybe more for some of the characters, right? That for others is different, right? There's also a theme of empowerment. How do you take your power? What does empowerment look like? Um, but I think that the larger theme that I see is change and adaptability. Can you adapt to what's coming? And yeah, and definitely power. There's a lot of language around what does it mean to hold power, who gets to hold it traditionally, right? What happens when
Exactly.
what happens when power is only given to some and not others, right? There's so much going on here. I love Luis Alfaro. I think he's a brilliant playwright. And for all of those reasons, particularly now in this time when we are experiencing a lot of change, and we're struggling with adapting and um, anyway, I think that the play really provides us a space to reflect on what role do we play in our futures? How do we change the path of history that we're creating right now?
Exactly. I think you're onto something. I think both shows have had a moment of who controls what, right? And what that does to everyone else. And also systems. We all operate within a system, to what Isabel said. Like we all operate in a system, not just one community or the other. How do we operate within that system? Is it a system we should stay in? Is it a system that is good for us? Or is it one that everyone just told us this is how it works? And we're like, okay, we'll do it this way. So I think in his writing, Alfaro has done something to give us a peek inside culture. And even within the Latinx culture, we get different sides of it. So he's done a wonderful opening up to view it. Now, this is the time where I tell anyone watching this YouTube video, don't take our word for it. I'm talking about it. These lovely actresses are talking about it, but you need to see it. So the show just wrapped up weekend one. You still have 2 weekends to see the show, Thursday through Sunday. The next 2 weekends, you literally have no excuse. The word on the street is fantastic. I can agree, but people think I'm always biased. So I will say, listen to the people who've gone to the show. They're talking about it. Do not wait to get your tickets, because every time someone waits, we run out of seats. So this is a good time to listen. All right. Thank you three for taking some time to come chat with me today. I love watching each of you work, and I love the shift in watching you between shows. I'm excited for Charlotte to really get to see Charlotte and Fort Mill. I see you down there, Marianna, and Fort Mill. I am excited for the surrounding area to really get into the second one and just take home really the brilliance of the writing and the acting and it all tied together. So thank you for your time. You ladies have a wonderful rest of the day. And to my YouTube friends, I'll catch you next time with the next show.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank
you.
you.